Well, hello, welcome, and good morning to everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Yo, what's up, Ruckus? Good to see you. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Rescue All the Dogs. Good morning, SP74. Carol Murray. Yes. Avoid the smoke, stay inside, and tune in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. Sounds like a great idea. What's up, Brad? Good tunes in the Discord, man. You could rock, dude. You got a really good sound, too. I like it. Good morning, Night Shadow. Rhonda, what's up? James? One more week till the suppression hearing. Let's see what the dream team can get tossed. Yeah, and I think Frank's going to be there. What's up, Heaven Sent? Hey, Jill. Jackson, good morning. Purdue. How are you doing? Heather Marie, Boston Christian, Sparky Doo, Miss Thang. D, what's up, D? Hope you're feeling better. Yep, Jessica Robin Riley. Yep, coffee. That's what fuels this morning conversation. Michelle, how you doing? Gail, good morning. Phil, good morning. Julianne, hey. Who we missing? David? How you doing, David? Good to see you. Kate. And Indy. Good morning. Well, we got a few things to talk about before we dive into Delphi. This was originally shared on the Discord. This is a security camera from a local salon in Indianapolis. This is very, very, very scary. Let me play it and then we'll talk about it. That way you guys know what I'm talking about. How many of you have seen this video already? So I want you guys to notice the gentleman outside of that back window there. Beach Fairy, what's up? Big Fish, hello. Hey, Lori, you have a fantastic day as well. Thank you. Hey, Willow. I am doing well. Doing great. Had my morning walk with my babe. Had some breakfast, some potatoes and some eggs, and I have a nice big cup of black, strong, almost looks like syrup coffee. Tastes like shit, but it's strong. And it doesn't taste that bad. Glad you caught it, Andrea. Oh, Michelle, you saw that? Michelle says, "Oh dear, I saw that. What a sad sack." Yeah, this guy is. I mean, he's lucky that they didn't have one of their husbands. They're lucky that one of these girls didn't have like a can of mace, or that they just weren't pissed off as I was when I seen it. Because I mean, this guy's lucky to be alive. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I saw that. You know. Sparky says very disturbing. SP74 says ugh. Good morning, Rebecca. Oh, you're going on vacation. Safe travels. I hope you have a great time. I need a vacation. Gail says I saw it last night. Crazy. So I'm surprised they didn't do any close-ups on him. So what I did, I'm going to show you guys the original security footage. We'll talk about it. But I did some close-ups on this guy because I don't know if they caught him. I don't know if he shaved his beard or what. But I just want I'm hoping that if we can zoom in on him, somebody will notice who this guy is. This is in Indianapolis. Heather Marie. Yeah, it's like so strong. But I don't care. I'll drink it anyway. Walking coffee. There you go. Yeah, my dad hates the coffee I make. He don't let when I go visit him, he's like, "I'll make the coffee." Cuz he'll put a little bit of coffee in there and then he'll make the full pot so that it's kind of diluted. Not me. I need it to come out slowly. Like molasses. Boston says he is a danger, not funny at all. Yeah, this guy right here is basically doing kind of like what Brian Koberger was doing, evolving, testing the waters, working his way up to something really bad. Because, I mean, think about it. This guy, he looks like he might just be out. I don't know, maybe he's on lunch or something. And he cannot control himself. All right. So let me catch up on this chat and we'll hit play. I'm not trying to tease you guys with it. He's wearing a cap, a blue Carhartt style jacket, and blue jeans. Sun River, Oregon. Nice. Maybe you can do some snooping over there with that potential serial killer they got out there. I think that's closer to Portland. Willow says it's pretty ballsy to do that outside a salon with probably mostly women working with scissors. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And they were not afraid of this man at all. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Beach. All right, let's go ahead and roll this footage here. Okay, now keep your eyes over here. The man in the window. So he's already exposed right there. They got it blurred out. She didn't see it that time. She walked by and didn't really notice it. What's up, Arch? Yeah, Arch, me too. True Crime News says, I'm currently in Portland. Here comes the rumors. Love hiking to all the waterfalls. You would love it, Sleuth. Yeah, dude has his thing out and he's cranking on it. And there's another thing I want to talk about. He has his shirt in his mouth. And I always thought that maybe the bridge guy, he just, when you really slow it down and analyze it, you can see that he's spitting something out. I'm wondering if that whatever that white thing is around his neck, he just had it kind of in his mouth, and that's what he spits out. Spits it out, away from his mouth. But who knows? We'll take a look. So he's got his lower face covered. Yeah. Kelly says, yeah, I'm a stylist. Plenty of sharp objects and hot wax. Hey, yeah, that hot wax. Man, if you got him right there in his junk, would be amazing. I mean, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Hey, Lauren, good to see you. Two things. Muddy Bloody Guy would have heard and or seen cars coming well enough in advance to have time to lay flat or scoot off in the ditch and hide. But he kept on trucking. Your thoughts? Well, I mean, he could sit out in the woods all day, right? Hiding from vehicles, ducking behind trees. But the more he's doing that, the longer he's out there. And the longer he's out there, the more likely he's going to be caught. So I think the sacrifices he made, the few occasions where he was spotted, I think were necessary for him to get away the way that he did. My email is on my channel, sleuthintuition.com. Yeah, don't go out there, lady. And I feel bad because she wants to lock the door, but it looks like she has coworkers on this patio out back right here. You see it? So she's like, if I lock the door, I'm locking them out. It looks like she walks up to the door, um, with plans to lock it. I have a feeling this lady that she's working on told her lock that door. See, so she goes and checks it out. She's all, "Yep, that's his thing. What should we do? What should we do? Lock the door?" Oh, there's a lady. Did you see that? Look, there's a lady with a baby walking by. Look out this window. He's walking a stroller. Oh, there goes his little mask. Like he can't even control himself. It's a killer right there in the making. You think he wants to be outside this window in the middle of the day in the public doing what he's doing? No, he can't control himself. Indianapolis. It's a great morning, Brad. Hey, Don, good to see you. Shit sticks. I forgot what 2 was in 47 minutes. It looks took me to text that. Oh yeah, Mr. Shotgun. Boom, right in the dick. Oh man, that would have been great. Boom, right there. Right through the glass and everything. Wouldn't kill him. Unless she had some buckshot. True Crime News says couldn't just lay flat anywhere on the road, and the ditches aren't secluded enough. You would look more suspicious if you tried that. Well, I mean, I'm sure he did that. If he saw anybody, he's going to duck down. They're not going to notice some guy ducking down. The people hardly noticed a guy muddy and bloody walking down the street. Arch says, "Do we think you have to be mentally ill to do this? Like, I can't imagine doing that." Yeah, you definitely have something going on. Um, I don't know. I think you need to check this guy. A doctor would definitely need to talk with him, but um, I don't know how to explain this. I mean, what causes this here? It's something he's getting off on the fact that it's in the middle of the day, that there's a risk involved. Like he's getting off on all of that. Crazy. All right. Let's pull up a close up on this guy. So here's a side view. So if anybody recognizes it, looks like he might have some balding going on up here. Short hair on top, really bushy beard that kind of comes out real low, but shaved low here. Let me see if I have a better one. I think I found a better shot than that one. Nope, that's it. Well, I mean, he definitely cares. Timmy, good to see you, by the way, because he keeps covering his face. Yeah, he is shaped like TK. The potato variety. I think the perv, Michelle, is on the phone. I think he's trying to look incognito or nonchalant. You know, people are probably wondering, like, why is this guy standing outside my window? And then they see him on the phone. They're like, oh, he's just on a phone call. They don't think to look down. The lady that was working in there walked past him twice and didn't even realize what he was doing. Yeah, the part that scares me about people like this is the risk involved in all of this. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's the next thing you're going to do? You know, it goes from this to kidnapping and murder, in my opinion. Like those profilers that talk about Koberger and how he would go into those people's homes. They talked about these perpetrators. What they do is they go into homes, they sneak into homes knowing that the people aren't there, but really it's just practice for breaking into homes when the people are there. So eventually you can commit the murder. Yeah, this guy ain't going to do anything good. He's going to hurt somebody if he's not caught. And he probably most likely has already hurt somebody. This is in Indianapolis. I think porn plays a huge part. If we learn anything from what Ted Bundy tells us, he says, you know, and I don't think monsters are made. You know, I think you're born a monster, but I do believe that they are shaped. You know, I think that there's monsters out there that think about killing, that at any point could kill or hurt somebody, but because of their circumstances, it's easier for them to kind of control it. But let's say you're born a monster or a psychopath and you're getting yelled at by your father, you're getting beat by your mother, you're getting abandoned by your family, you know, all these bad things are happening. It's going to be a lot harder to control yourself. And that kind of reminds me of this guy. I don't know if you guys know much about him. Pull up an image here. This guy's from Indiana too. I don't know if it's Indianapolis. I know he spent a lot of time there. He might be from Bloomington. I'm not sure. But I'm sure you guys all remember this creep. There is a great documentary on Netflix on Jared Fogle. I watched it last night. It's very, very interesting. I think you guys would really enjoy it. So I'll give you guys a chance to check it out, and then I think we'll cover this story here probably next Monday. I didn't know it was that in depth, and I didn't know there was that deep of a story that surrounds this guy. Could he stay in his own car or home and do all this shit? Sick. No, because then he wouldn't be getting the pleasure that he's getting right now. He's getting off on being in that situation. The fact that he could get caught at any minute is probably making his adrenaline go crazy. And yeah, there's definitely something wrong with that dude. And it's not going to stop there. It's only going to get worse. That's awful, Jill. No, Beach Fairy, I don't know. They may have caught the guy, but I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to do some close ups just in case they haven't yet. It literally just happened, I think, the day before yesterday. I think they did call the police, Indy, because they both got on their phones immediately. Assault with the friendly weapon. I definitely would have took his teeth. Beach says, pretty clear picture from the camera indoors looking out. Yeah, and that's how stupid he is. He didn't even think, like, what if they have a camera looking at me? Oh, I'm just going to cover my face every time I walk past this part of the wall. Like, what a fucking idiot. Glitter says, a man slug? That's a compliment compared to what he really is. But I like it. Kate says, definitely throwing caution to the wind. Nasty, creepy guy for sure. Yeah, and the sad part is he's probably some normal guy to a group of people, like some of his family members, you know. And when they find this out, it'll be devastating. I don't think so. Yeah, yeah. I looked for some updates this morning. I couldn't find anything. There's no open carry in Indiana. That's sad. Lauren says, if this is linked to the biggest CSAM ring in Indiana history, where are all the arrests? I haven't noticed an influx of Chester molesters. Has anyone looked into that? I mean, there was a lot of arrests, but I didn't compare it to if it was more than usual. But yeah, I say it all the time when I go live about Delphi. Is if you're local to that area, I would be pissed off, or I would be beating on law enforcement's door demanding answers about this CSAM ring that was mentioned and what they're doing about it. Glitterbeam says a lot of serial rapists start out as peeping toms. Yeah, voyeurism. It's a gateway, um, basically, to murder. I guarantee people like a Richard Allen or a Koberger, guys like that. I guarantee they were doing voyeurism. Well, we know that Koberger installed those cameras, so there you go. Four under hello. Yeah, I agree. Those sliding glass doors are not very secure unless you put an extra lock at the bottom and the top, in my opinion. And then if anybody wanted to, they just break right through it. Hey OT, I bet he's married with kids. Law enforcement should check on his kids. Yeah, that's the horrible part about it. Hey Steffa. Steffa says Jared gross. Yeah, has anybody seen the documentary on him? It's like a series, I think, actually, on Netflix. No, it's not on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? It might be on HBO. It might be on Max. I'm sorry. And then also Dateline on Peacock put out um, a great special on the Idaho murders. They're the ones that broke the story about him stalking some other girl a few months prior to the killings, and that he would break into her home and he would move stuff around only so that she would come running to him as a hero asking for help, knowing that he in turn he would say, yeah, I know exactly what to do. I worked for a security company. I'll install security cameras for you, knowing damn well that all he's doing is installing cameras in a home that he wants to spy on. Now, if that doesn't scare you just even a little bit, it should. Lauren says, I have a 13-year-old badass neighbor kid that lurks around my windows. Lord help me if he's out there playing pocket pool to the Hot Mess Express. The Hot Mess Express. Uh, oh, that's funny. They start with taking clothes off, clotheslessness, and peeping, and then move on to window displays, charming. Yeah, it's just the level of risk. They take a risk, and the next time it needs to be more risky so that they can get turned on even more. It's the adrenaline and the risk factor. Candace, hello. I would have taken a picture of him and posted it for everyone to see. The more people that see his face, the easier it will be that he gets caught. Yep, I subscribe to that, and that's why I wanted to go out of my way and get some close-ups on him. I'm surprised that the news channel that put it out didn't get a close-up on this guy. And I think that the person working at the salon went out there and took a nice photo of him, and that's why he ended up leaving. No use for name. What's up? I have my lifetime carry permit, but Indiana definitely is now an open carry state. Good. I mean, as an American, that shouldn't be a law. You should be able to open carry, conceal carry. It shouldn't be up to the government what we do as a free society. You know what I mean? As long as you're not hurting other people, you should be free to do what you want. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Good to see you. Definitely coming out to Delphi, just not going to announce it. Pff, Rhonda, I would have gone Edward Scissorhands on him. Yeah, like where's a boiling pot of grease when you need it? OT, that's a good question. For some reason, I always think about Florida. I don't know why. Voyeuristic disorder is apparently the medical name for it under the DSM 5. Thanks, Rebecca. Which we can call them snowdroppers. Lauren, I'll put you up. Thanks for the offer. Yeah, it's not a good idea. Nothing wrong with a good old tent and watching what goes on at night. Yeah, I said I had a stalker before. Stalker laws. Police couldn't do anything, and I lived in terror. Yeah, that's scary. That's very scary because a lot of people are raised. If you have a problem, go call the police. But people that grew up on the streets, they know that that's not how it works. Um, you never call the cops when you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be too late. You just call cops to pursue the person after the fact. But what are you going to do when you're in that situation and the danger is right in front of your face? You're not calling the cops isn't going to save your life. You have to respond, fight or flight. But you know, yeah, I don't say don't call the cops, but you're going to have to pick one of those decisions before you do that. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good job for whoever shared it in my Discord. I can't remember. But man, it's whoever shared it. I saw the video and it was just so distracting. I forgot who the hell shared it. All right, let's get into it. Thank you, D. Yeah, and I just don't know the laws. Like, what happens if you just came out and just shot him right in the balls? You know, I have a feeling like you would go to jail or something crazy. Jared lost weight by eating giant sandwiches. He's so gross. He's a pig in every way. Well, he's definitely a chomo. Um, but Jared Fogle is the reason that I mentioned that I don't think monsters are created because I know there's this theory that hey, if your parents are horrible and you're a child and they're just horrible to you, you really don't have a choice. You're going to grow up and be a horrible person because of the emotional and physical and mental damage that's been done to you. But I don't necessarily believe that. I think that there's something wrong with these people from the get go, whatever it happens to be. For example, a lot of people are saying they're trying to create a narrative so that Jared Fogle gets a little bit of sympathy. They bring up the fact that he was a fat kid, that he was made fun of, and all this shit. Like, that's just part of being a kid. I know there's some circumstances where the bullying is just completely out of control and it's a nightmare for these people. But I remember going through school and getting bullied and even doing some bullying. It's just I just remember it being chaos as a kid. Just taking the bus home was chaotic in elementary school and things like that. So they try to say, "Oh, this poor kid was made fun of, and he was the fattest kid in school. Even he was heavier than even all the teachers, and that he never had a childhood, and that's why he's a chomo." I don't put that shit out there. That's not realistic. You don't hurt kids because you didn't have an opportunity to have a girlfriend as a kid. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. So whoever tries to justify that, you need to stop doing that. Some of the guys who got caught for pornography were residing in Indiana. Thank you, D. When was life before all these guns? Probably bow and arrows, sticks, cannons, sharp spears. You know, the gun is really just the evolution of the spear, or really maybe even the throwing rock. Beach fair, I guess the non-dangerous voyeurs just watch their wives from closets. That's very weird. But it does remind me of the BTK. If you read his story, he talks about how he wanted to stop killing, but it was hard for him because he was into this hardcore bind and sexually binding, that S&M stuff. So he actually convinced his wife for about 8 years to get into all that weird stuff. And he said eventually it wasn't enough anymore and he had to go back to killing. So there was like an 8 year hiatus for the BTK because he was basically saying, well, I'm going to open up to my wife so I can stop killing families. And then it just wasn't enough for him. Charlotte Dean says, wow, are most YouTubers against each other these days? I don't know. A lot of disrespect, a lot of difference of opinions, I think. I think it's okay to speak your mind about other creators and things like that, but you don't want to get obsessed with it. You know what I mean? Say what you got to say and keep it moving. Brad, that's a good point. 43 likes and 172 watching. If you guys could please hit the like button, it's a good way to help my channel. And if you don't like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs down. Miss Thing says, I think it was Bossy who. Yeah, you're right. I think it was Bossy. Could be wrong though, but I think you're right. Thank you, D. That's awful, Rebecca. Sorry you went through that. Kate List. One dark, foggy night after a night class, this guy came up to my driver's side door, yanking on his thingy. Gross. I drove off and my camera mirror hit him on the way by. Hope it hit his junk and in hand. Yeah, you should have just ran him over. Actually, if you see somebody doing something like that and you end up attacking them, I feel like you're going to get in trouble. I feel like there's no real justice anymore these days, Like if you're out flashing your thing to a bunch of women, I think it should be okay if you're shot in the dick with a shotgun. Purdue says, oh no, I was almost a scrub. Just hit the thumbs up. Do not be scrubby. Thanks, Purdue. Yeah, we don't want no scrubs. It's not that hard to hit the thumbs up. And really, it's not that hard to hit the thumbs down if you want to. It's just good to know what's going on, Little survey. V, hey, what's up? I agree, Sleuth. Born with an issue that can be set off by something specific. Yeah, I don't think monsters are created, but I do believe that they can be shaped. Do you want a little tiny monster that might explode under extreme stress? Or do you want to create extreme stress through the life of this monster and put him in a position of walking on eggshells where he could explode at any moment. Hey, Lala. In the 70s, my friend and I were nearly abducted while hitchhiking. It doesn't go down like you think. Screaming is not something that happens as you're in such shock, trying just to survive. Yeah, I can see that. You know, when you see a big grizzly bear chasing somebody, you don't see them screaming. You see them running and trying to use all of their brain power for survival. They're not wasting it on screaming. But I do have a feeling that if the girls were killed down right underneath the south end of the bridge, which is very possible, right when they got down the hill, they could have been killed. I don't know if they did scream, I don't know if you'd be able to hear it right there. And it seems like this bridge guy picked the right moment to where there was just nobody around. So I mean, they could have screamed. I just don't think there was anybody near the bridge at that specific point in time. So I mean, there could have been this a lot of screaming. There could have been helps, screams, yelling from a male. But if there's nobody down there to witness that, because I mean, it probably only lasts the actual physical attack, probably like maybe 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more. It was probably so fast. The window of time for somebody to be walking up that trail towards the high bridge at that very moment to hear the scream. Because I mean, what's that old saying? If a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to hear it, did it make a sound? Well, yeah, it did, but there was nobody there. So what difference does it make? What is sound? Is sound something that people hear, or is it something that happens? Um, I think it's something that happens. So I believe that they were screaming. I believe that there was a lot of commotion. I believe it was a violent struggle. I just don't think there was anybody there to witness those sounds. Jessica says, I grew up in a terribly abusive home. I do have done everything I can to never turn out like my parents. I'm sorry to hear that. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you. 100% agree, Sleuth. All children are teased at some point. Now they call it bullying. Yeah. And I know that there are some cases of actual bullying. I've witnessed it where people are just, uh, I guess, excessively bullying people to where they really have a personal hatred for this person. They just want to constantly abuse them and humiliate them on a daily basis. To me, that's bullying, when you have it out for someone. But just teasing somebody because their belly's hanging out or something, it's no big deal. It's not nice, of course, but I think it's just what kids do. They're learning how to be nice, learning how to treat other people. And sometimes they don't have the best examples. All right, we're going to hang out for another 15 minutes. So if there's anything you want to ask me, anything you want to talk about regarding the Delphi case, um, or anything that might relate, let me know. Mindy says it's not that there weren't any guns; it's the mentality of people and the place our society is in these days. I don't know. I don't think it's really changed. I mean, our society is overall is great. It's just the decisions and the emotional part of it all that seems to be steering it in the wrong direction. I mean, we can all get on the freeway, right? Regardless of color, creed, race, religion, whatever, whatever. We all allow the car that's in front of you to merge ahead of you, and then the car behind you will merge behind you. We're all very civilized. It's just a small group that can ruin it for the rest. And social media and media in general just makes things seem worse. Uh, But really, the word is just spreading much faster than it ever has before because of the internet. Are you talking about BTK, Beach Fairy? Auto erotic asphyxiation 2. His wife caught him hanging from a door handle, giving himself a treat. BTK. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I heard that. And it kind of seems that that's what this the hell's his name? The subway guy. If you listen to his story, it's very similar. He got comfortable with this woman and would start telling her that he was interested in younger girls, like around the ages 10. Gail said, "I never heard of one child survivor of the Holocaust become a monster." Hey, David, been a while. If someone else was with Richard Allen when the murders were committed, I wonder if he will turn them in. I hope so. I have a feeling that he is, but I think he's smart enough to know that to do it when the timing is right, when he's at the end of his road. Right now his ego might still be there. He's had 6 years of freedom. This Richard Allen character, if he's the guy. So I mean, had to have inflated his ego. The moves that he made were the reason that he was able to have those 6 years of freedom. So I mean, that's got to inflate his ego somewhat, and he might think that he can get away with this still. So hopefully, once his ego dies, he'll start talking, or he already has. Speaking of the poll, let's go ahead and shut that down and post the results. All right. So the poll question was: if others are involved, will Richard Allen provide the much needed info to close this case for good? There we go. Okay. 46% said he will talk if the deal is right. And I agree. Either if the deal is right or all of the discovery has been discussed with his attorneys. 21% said he will take it to the grave, which is very possible. Another 21%, he is a small piece of the puzzle. And 10% said he already did. So I'm somewhere between he already did and he will talk if the deal is right. I'm somewhere in between that. Leaning more towards maybe he already did or has already made the choice in his mind. Big Fish says, I think we need to be looking for signs of CSA child abuse and reporting suspect cases. It's so prevalent. Yeah, we need to be more proactive as a society. When you see something, just do something about it. Don't be a coward. Let's see some action. What is it, lunchtime over there? Steph, what are you going to have for lunch? I've been making turkey sandwiches with Munster cheese, mustard, and then I'll grab like maybe 3 inches of barbecue Pringles. Call it a day. Any word about the TRO that Richard Allen filed? Not that I know of. It's a good question. Does anybody know? The Phantom Scream. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. Definitely hybrid. That's definitely some good conspiracy food for sure. Anthony to David says, I think he will save himself. I hope so. I just want him to talk. They need to put this case in the past. Um, I just don't feel like they're able to honor Abby and Libby the way they want to because they just don't have the answers yet. So as soon as he talks and kind of gives all the information that's needed, the sooner they can start to heal, I think. Which stuck out like a sore thumb. I thought he were so cocky to drive these two cars and be a stalker, as anyone could describe them easily, than to go from a bright yellow and tangerine vehicle to black. Andrew says, I'm a truck driver and I eat Subway multiple times per week. And I ate that. I always think about Jared every time. Yeah, that's crazy. Unsolved. I am thinking of a number 1 through 10. Is it 4? I was backing out of a parking space, and when I turned to the window, he was there yanking away. I hit him with the driver's side mirror as I pulled away in shock. At least you got him. Chili relleno cornbread casserole. Ooh, that sounds bomb. Yeah, good to see you, Unsolved. Hey, Karen, good to see you. It's me. It's a me, Mario. Why does Rick Snay post terrible videos about good creators? I've never heard Sleuth say anything bad about him. I've said plenty of things bad about Rick, but that's only because I hear the things that he says. I used to watch him until he started bad mouthing me, but I really don't care. I'm not going to get obsessed about hating on another creator. I could care less. That's not why I'm here. What about Cheyenne Sleuth? I think sound travels by the water. Well, she said she got there about 3:15. I think I think if there was any sound, it would have been any between 2:15 and 2:30. It would have been from the point where he made contact with them and Libby started taking that video and recording the audio. I think the screaming would have happened between there and about 10 minutes from there. I think it was all over. Hey, KF23, he is adopted. I think Richard On had the urge a long time. He snapped. Yeah, I noticed in his letter. Let me see if I can pull this up. See what you guys think. I'm not, I don't know what I'm talking about, but for some reason, that's how I read this. Get your opinion on it. So this was a letter that Richard Allen wrote to the court, and he does like if you notice his eyes are like really big. I. But whenever he writes his last name, it's really small. Look, even in his signature. Big Richard, big M, and then small Allen. Because that he wasn't born with that last name. So maybe you experts can comment on that. You handwriting experts. But that's just something that stood out to me. And these weird eyes. It's like I. And then the last name, Alan. It's like I. Alan. Yeah, it might not be nothing. Might not be anything. Yeah, Beach Fairy, I agree. Definitely depends on who you started as. Because I mean, look at Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, he had an okay childhood, and he was out torturing animals and stuff. All right, guys, we got about 3 minutes left. Ruckus says, "Have a great day, Sleuth. Later, all. Don't take any wooden nickels." No promises, Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Always good to see you. We should get together soon. Hang out. Hybrid says, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." Kate Liss says, "Snay needs to grow up and he knows it." I don't think he needs to do anything. He's just being himself. Some people like it. Some people, it rubs them the wrong way. It is what it is. But I'm not going to obsess about it. I just don't watch anymore. It's that simple. If there's something that you don't enjoy, then don't watch it. The Unsolved. It concerns me greatly that there is no smoking gun evidence aside from the unspent cartridge in the arrest warrant. If there was something big, evidence wise, it would likely be in the warrant, in my opinion. If it was DNA, I think it would. If it was pertaining to a witness or another person of interest, I don't think it would. Um, and I think it could be all of those things at the same time. For example, if you have all of these witnesses that we don't know about in court, when these witnesses are like, yeah, when he came home, he did this, and that. That could be a family member or neighbor reporting what they saw. So, yeah, the bullet and the analysis done on that, it might be a little thin, but when you take that and that's your foundation of your case, and then you start building everything around it, that little piece of information helps to verify everything else, you know? So if the wife was saying, yeah, he came home and he wanted to wash his clothes or he had scratches on his face, and I was very suspicious, but then we went in, we talked to law enforcement and nothing happened. So I figured that he had nothing to do with the crime. So now if she goes to court and she starts saying these things, that bullet now is more powerful. So it's really going to be the testimony from everybody around it that's going to make that evidence what it needs to be, which is very strong, right? By itself and what we know, it's really paper thin. I don't think you can get a conviction, especially with the jury, the way that they picked it. So I think it's very likely that he could walk and he could get convicted. It's like 50-50 right now, maybe 60-40 for a conviction, only because he looks like the bridge guy. We know that the bridge guy told him to get down the hill, which is the kidnapping, and we know that they ended up dead. And that's what he's being charged with. He's being charged for what he did on the bridge, and then him for those actions leading to a death of the girls. That's how he's being charged. And I think the reason they charged him that way is because that's the charge that they're going to get to stick. When they explain that to that jury in that courtroom, that that's what they're trying to do is, hey, look, we don't know really. He won't talk, but we know that he kidnapped the girls and we know that his bullet was at the crime scene. If it wasn't for him, those girls would still be living today, regardless of what he says and what the defense says. And I think once people understand that and a jury agrees with that, and they believe that Richard Allen is that guy on the bridge, nothing else matters because the charges they just want to prove those charges that he kidnapped the girls and they ended up dead because of him. I think that the way that they charged him plays a big part in getting this conviction. Hey, Jeff. Every now and then, the ugliness of road rage rears its ugly head. I like your highway merging metaphor. Yeah, you're right. I've had my road rage incidences. I'm glad those are all. Getting in the fight in the middle of an intersection with somebody you don't know isn't a good look. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, sleuth for the most part about our society, but teenagers don't have any sense. And they're the ones doing a lot of killing with guns where I am anyway. Yeah, it's true. Because when you're an adolescent, you think you know it all because you've gone from being this small child to being a teenager. There's a lot of growth there, but it doesn't mean you know everything. But you definitely know so much more than you did as a toddler, right? Or as a small child, now that you're a teenager. So it's easy to convince yourself that you know a lot when you really just know a lot more than you did because you were a freaking baby not so long ago. So, yeah, the amount of knowledge that you have from that point is immense, but it's nothing compared to what you need to take on this world and the trouble that we often face. All right, just going to catch up on these last messages and then we're going to get out of here, guys. So, I appreciate you hanging out. Make sure you hit the like on the way out. If you could, subscribe to the channel so you can get those notifications. We're going to stay extremely busy. I cut my calendar in half just for the channel. So we're going to stay busy. We're going to start covering the Koberger case a lot more, new cases. There appears to be a possible serial killer in Portland. It's just extremely interesting. Breaking news like these weird flasher type guys. In my opinion, it's a gateway crime. So we're going to stay on top of all this stuff. So make sure you guys subscribe if you want to, if you want notifications for all that stuff, and consider becoming a member. Um, um, we take our membership very serious here. And it looks like we have a super chat. Well, we have a super sticker from Rescue All the Dogs. Thank you so much. Appreciate all your help. And a super sticker from Leslie Kingston. Thank you, Leslie. It's always good to see you in the chat participating. I really appreciate it. Guys that are part of the replay crew, if you didn't catch us live, leave a comment, and I'm sure everybody that was hanging out here today would be glad to see what's going on there and respond, including myself. Sultana just joined, new sub here. Welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Gail Hurd, I'm almost 70 and I learn something all the time. That's great. Hope I can say the same thing. Hey, Moon Crystal. Hey, Sleuth, just had to drop in and say you're awesome. And I'm so glad you don't allow creator drama to ever take over the show. It's all about what really matters here. Yeah. I mean, you can't avoid a little bit of drama, but if you're going to turn your channel into a drama swimming pool, yeah, I mean, dip the toe from time to time, but I'm not going swimming, that's for sure. I was a nose guard. Hey, Deb. Good to see you. All right, guys, that's it. We're all caught up on the chat. Once again, I appreciate you. Hit the like on the way out, and I'll catch you guys later today at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about Brian Koberger and some of the new information that's been released about his actions just a few months prior, and some other interesting things about what was seized from his home. We're going to cover all that tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will see you there. And thank you so much, Deb, for the super sticker. You know I appreciate you. On that note, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you later on in the evening. Peace out.